Hello everyone. Welcome to Lola Safe Space, the podcast. It's been a while kasi hindi kami naka-prepare ng anything for madaming nangyayari in life. So, to make the long story short, we are going to feature for the very first time in public how it is with my daughter. It's a very sensitive matter, but I know that this calls for awareness for everyone. And of course, I have her permission that we can discuss how she is right now. Okay na ba? So let me introduce to you my co-host, my daughter, Robin.
May
daughter.
May toys.
Co-host.
Co-host. Hindi, guest mo ko.
Yan. Ay. Let me introduce to you my guest. My guest. My first ever guest for this episode. Yung parang season 3 na ata tayo. Robin, we will be talking about the bipolar. Ayan. O sige. Here she is. Okay.
Ano sasabihin ko?
Hi everyone.
Introduce.
Introduce myself.
Ano ba yun? Kasi naiisip kong timeline, introduction, na may bipolar. Ako yung mag-open.
Sige.
Tapos, tanungan na lang.
Sige.
Pag nakaka-conscious talaga yung pag may na. Yeah. Pero hello everyone. I'm Marie Robin Lee Alorofelia. Full name. I just turned 21 last September 12. And I was recently diagnosed with the psychosocial disorder, which is bipolar 1. Yeah. And
Bipolar 1 or 2?
no, it's 1. Kasi ang bipolar 1 mas malala kaysa sa bipolar 2. Kasi sa 1, it has this thing called grandiosity. Ganun.
Okay. It was a trying time for all of us kasi nobody knows about this situation. Parang sa atin, superficial lang lahat. We know about mental health. So I wanted her to siguro describe and fully share with us what is what is it like to have this kind of mental disorder na hindi siya dapat ikakahiya kundi dapat siyang i-share for awareness and para ma-educate din yung people around. Kasi it's much easier to be with a person than be her. Okay, let's have it from Robin.
Feeling ko, next, wala lang naisip ko lang, pwede natin maging guest next time tatlo ni Raya. Wala lang, ang cute lang. But, yung kukwento ko, how is it like being a bipolar 1 patient? Parang naisip ko as you said, na parang destigmatized bipolar. Parang gusto kong unahin muna yung pag-destigmatize sa kung saan ako nanggaling. Which is, kasi ang background about me, I was admitted sa ER and then afterwards, diretso ako ng psych ward. And parang yung first thought lagi, pag naririnig ko yung psych ward is nakakatakot, ganon. So yung feeling ko talaga, parang, I don't know if sinabihan niyo ba ako na pupunta ako sa psych ward or basta na lang ako diniretso sa...
Sinabihan kita. I was told by the admitting doctor.
Pwede mo bang ikwento na lang yung July 25?
Okay. Siguro for backgrounder, we have to in story time muna tayo. It was July 24 when she was admitted.
4 or 5?
24.
Okay.
When she was admitted to the UST psych, when she was admitted in a psych ward. It was, she has this, yung grabe yung una, nung nagising ako, kasi she wanted to go back to school again. Kasi nag-drop off siya.
From the very beginning. Gusto like,
Oo. Siguro lang, parang ang story. Ay, sige. Yung para maintindihan nating lahat
Full
how it is. Yung full context ng why she was admitted to the psych ward. First, it was during the second term or the first term of your third year. Basta it's about the thesis na, in fact, dun sa mga lives ko, kinikwento ko yon how it is na super hard siya for her. Na no matter how much we try, parang hindi din namin siyang kayang tulungan. So, there was this, na hindi niya na kaya, umabot na siya dun sa punto na hindi niya na kaya. And then, parang magulo na, sobrang giving up, ang pag-give up niya, she was begging me na, "Mami, hindi ko na kaya." Alam mo yung parang tuta siya na nagmamakaawa na kunin na from wherever she is during that time. So, sabi ko, sige, mahirap yung desisyon kasi kami ng dad niya, pinaglaban talaga namin kasi nandun na kami. Kumbaga, as parents, eto yun 4 subjects left siya. So for us, that's something else. And then she's dropping kasi hindi niya na kaya. This subject sana, the thesis, the capstone they call it, ito na yung pang 4th subject na after this 3 to go na lang siya, but she dropped this subject. And then sabi ko, sige, gusto mo magpahinga for whatever it is, hindi na talaga kaya, sige, okay na ako doon. And then, so, lumipas yung 3 buwan kasi try sila So, lumipas yung 3 buwan, tapos, kinukwento ko rin sa mga bosses ko na kung anong nangyari sa kanya, na she dropped from school and everything. Tapos, one day, may, yung parang mentor namin, nakausap niya. Tapos, parang binigyan siya ng boost, binigyan siya ng mga motivational quotes and things in life. And then, the next day, she told me na gusto niya na to go back to school again this next try. This try, sabi niya. Sabi ko, good. I was so happy about that. So, hinag ko siya. And then, okay na.
Sabihin mo, i-mention mo how very close si Ma'am Letty kay God.
Oo. Yun. Yung mentor namin na yun is very close to God. Na in fact, yung nandun kami sa church habang kinukwento, nag-uusap sila ng anak ko, netong si Rab. And then she was so, yung grabe yung motivation niya, including yung parang kung sino ba yan nang aapi sa'yo, sabi niya, gusto mo, resbakan natin. Yan yung may ganun siya. Ay, sorry God, gumagan siya. Pero yung parang meron siyang mga witty side, pero talagang totoong ini-integrate niya yung lessons kay Rab about God and everything. So, okay na kami. Hindi. So, na-motivate nga siya ni Ma'am Letty. I call her Ma'am Letty. Very close to us. And to Rob also. And then, the next day, she told me nga na she's going back to school na. Kasi na-motivate siya ni Ma'am Letty during that time. So, na-kick off yung interest niya and na-kick off ulit yung motivation niya to go back. Then, that night, parang ang dami niya ng gustong gawin. It was a Wednesday night. Tapos halos hindi siya matulog. Kinontak niya lahat ng mga friends niya na I'm back, ganon. So nakipag-communicate na siya to everyone, including my sister and her dad. So ang dami niyang pinuntahan. At saka that night, yung last na pinuntahan niya yung best friend niya. Nag-usap sila, nagkwentuhan sila. The thing is, hindi siya natulog. Magdamag siyang gising. You know what? This tulog is very important. You guys, you have to take note of this. The sleep is very important. So, hindi siya nakatulog. The next day, sabi ko, bakit hindi ka natulog? Kasi nakita ko yung kama niya, kasi may pull-out bed siya Hindi na nahila ba? And then, she told me na yun nga, ang dami niyang ideas. And then sabi niya, ang dami ko pang gustong pag-usapan natin. Pero very high pitch na ang voice niya. Hindi hindi na siya yung normal. Kasi ang tahimik neto eh. Talagang tahimik. Hindi siya loud. Talagang lagi ko naman kinukwento yan na she is more of an observer rather than somebody who yung umi-eksena. Hindi siya ganun eh. So this day, talagang ang loud niya. Sabi ko, sige, punta tayo dito in a place na okay tayo mag-usap. And then, ang dami ng kwento na na to the point na paano na madami siyang gustong gawin. Na sabi ko, hindi siya pwede. Kasi tulog pa si ganito. Kasi gusto niya puntahan yung somebody else. Tapos sabi ko, hindi pa pwede. Tapos parang nag-tantrums na siya. Sabi niya, gusto ko yung tita ko. Gusto ko yung si Ma'am Letty. So tinawagan ko si Ma'am Letty. Nagpanik na ako kasi hindi na siya that time. To the point na ito yung sobrang nakakatawa. Sabi niya, Mami, tawagan mo na si Ma'am Letty. Sabi ko, wait lang, magtututbrush ako. So, nagpapanik na ako. Sabi niya, magtututbrush ka pa? Tatawagan mo lang si Ma'am Letty. Ganon katindi yung panic namin. So, to cut the long story short, natawagan ko na lahat ng tao to mapakalma siya. And hindi talaga. My sister, my brother-in-law, even may pamangkin. Ang dami niyang gustong kausapin. So, we ended bringing her to the hospital sa emergency. And then, during the time, grabe, sobra yung komosyon, sobra yung parang hindi siya. Iba ang katauhan niya during that time. So, to the point na kailangan na siyang i-inject para kumalma. It was only that time na nakapagpahinga siya. When the admitting doctor informed me that she will be admitted for 3 weeks in a psych ward, doon na ako umiyak. Doon ako nag-breakdown. Kasi 3 weeks daw. Kasi sabi niya, kung iuwi mo siya ngayon, hindi mo siya kakayanin. So, which, made sense during that time. Alam mo, sabi ko, Dok, paano ko sasabihin sa kanya? Sabi ng doktor, I'll help you out. Akong magsasabi. So, pumasok na kami, tapos in-inform na namin siya. Sabi ko, magpagaling ka. Kasi tinanong niya ako, Mami, uwi na ba ako? Uwi na ba tayo? Sabi niya gano'n. Ang sakit noon, 'di ba? Sabi ko, hinawakan ko kamay niya. Sabi ko, magpagaling ka kasi para maging okay ang lahat. Sabi ko, kailangan mong maging mandito, magpagaling ka, sundin mo lahat ang sasabihin nila para mas magbilis ka makalabas. And then the doctor follow up na in-explain sa kanya na she has to be admitted nga and all. So, ang doctor ang nag-break sa kanya ng news kasi hindi ko kaya. Sabi ko lang sa kanya, magpagaling ka, tapos sundin mo lahat ng sinasabi nila para maging maayos ang lahat at mabilis kang lumabas. So, she was admitted to the psych ward for actually 2 weeks lang dapat pala eh. So, pero umabot siya ng 3 weeks. So, that's it. Every day, kahit bawal akong pumupunta ako sa ospital, ang dami kong alibay para lang nandun ako. Pero hindi niya naman ako nakikita, hindi ko rin siya nakikita. Ang update ko sa doktor, nakukulitan na nga yung doktor sa akin. So that's the reason kung bakit siya napunta sa psych ward because of that emergency. And later on, she was diagnosed with bipolar 1. And then the doctor explains everything, including the medication. And it's really a trying time for me kasi iba yung nandun ka pala, talagang totoong nasa sitwasyon ka. So I think she can share how it is with her kasi siya talaga siya lang naman ang source ng kung ano man ang naranasan niya, naramdaman niya during that time. Ako as a spectator, it hurts a lot being a mom, di ba? Pero all of this shall pass, ika nga, di ba? So this is a very good topic for all of us. We can share this, learn from it, and be aware kung ano man yung mga symptoms or triggers for that matter. We have to learn from her, okay? Also, here's Rab for her kwento.
Ano ko kwento ko? Siguro yung parang i-bridge na lang sa like last nung kwento. Tutuloy ko na lang yun. Parang from the outside perspective, sobrang bigat niya. Ganon. Parang habang kwento mo, parang nakakaiyak yung from your perspective as compared to sa akin na mismong nararanasan yun. Parang, di ba nga, for 3 weeks na nasa ward ako, sabi ko, sobrang saya ko dito, ganyan. Pero, yung bigat na nararamdaman as a parent, yung you not knowing kung ano yan? How was I, ganon, hindi, wala kang makita. Parang sobrang hirap nun from me. Parang, parang compared sa akin na may bipolar at kailangan i-admit sa psych ward, mas magaan yon as compared to sa'yo na parang ang bigat-bigat. Gets ba yun?
Ang ano kasi, from my perspective kasi, may sakit siya. How can I help? Hindi ko rin naintindihan yung sakit na to. I read a lot. I listen to lots of mga views ng ibang mga nakikita ko kahit saan. At saka people na meron din ganon. And people who live with someone with bipolar 1. Pero hindi, iba pa rin yung experience ng totoong ikaw ang nakakaranas, diba?
Ayun. Parang yung pagkakaroon ko ng bipolar 1, it's both a blessing and a curse. Pero naalalamang yung blessing. Kasi naalala ko lang bigla yung sinabi ni Tita Linto nung nagpe-preach siya, one of her services. Parang sabi, hindi magbibigay si Lord ng suffering tsaka pain sa sa mga taong naniniwala sa kanya. He doesn't give pain or he doesn't make people suffer just because parang yung pain and suffering na yon, it's for a good cause. So kahit na alis na ba? Kahit na sinasabi kong curse yung bipolar 1, it's more of a blessing. Kung bakit ko siya nasabing curse, kasi nga, pinaka number 1 reason is I hurt people unintentionally, including or especially my parents. Inaway ko sila kahit na sila nga dapat yung pinaka-pinasasalamatan ko. Pero, as I said, nung one of my recent breakdowns, nung kumalma na ako, sabi ko, hindi ako kumalma. Bago ako kumalma, ang parang pinaka-concluding ng outburst na yon is yung key takeaway. I'm not a bad person. I have bipolar 1. I'm not evil. I don't want to hurt people. I know my heart and I know that I'm a good person. Ganyan. I have a good soul. Tapos, naalala ko lang yung sinabi ng isa kong ka-ward or like my ward mate. Sabi niya, I'm not a patient. I'm a person who's grieving. And sobrang laking impact nung sentence na yon, na hindi, you are not your diagnosis. You're not your mental disorder. So, in the same way that I am not my bipolar 1, hindi ako yon. Hindi ako yung Rob na galit sa parents niya because, sa ngayon, para alam kong a part or like parts of me when I was young, at one point siguro na totoong galit ako sa inyo, yung mga panahong nag-aaway kayo, tapos bata ako, hindi ko alam ano gagawin. May ganong klaseng rage or galit within me. Pero, tas lumalabas siya pag like may outburst ako. But, kung sino ako ngayon, sobrang grateful. I have nothing but love for my parents and I'm so grateful for the both of them. I don't hate them. That's my bipolar speaking. And, tutuloy na lang natin to in the next episode.